2009 15-inch MacBook Pro keyboard replacement. Please note the difficulty of this replacement as the logic board and DVD drive will have to come out. This is the most difficult replacement on this particular MacBook model. Make sure that the MacBook is shut down and go ahead and flip it over. We'll be removing 10 Phillips head screws. Remove the 3 long Phillips head screws first. Now, starting in the top left and going around the contour of the MacBook, remove the 7 short Phillips head screws. Once all screws have been removed, go ahead and remove the rear panel. Battery removal. Remove the 3 tri-wing or pentalobe screws depending on your model. They're located in the exact same place on both types of models. Gently lift up the battery, but it's still connected to the MacBook, so be careful. Disconnect it from the logic board. Logic board removal. Remove the trackpad cover first. It's attached with 2 Phillips head screws. Loosen the screws and remove the cover. Remove the right fan. It's attached with 3 T6 screws. Leave the screws in place, unscrew them, lift up the fan and disconnect it from the logic board. Remove the left fan as well. It's attached the same way. 3 screws, leave them in place, disconnect it from the logic board. Leaving the screws in place allows you to track them easy. Inspect the 10 connections on the logic board. Familiarize yourself with them. We'll go over each one individually. Disconnect the keyboard backlight. It has a little lever that has to be pressed up. Then you can just pull out the cable. Make sure to push up that lever. Disconnect the Wi-Fi cable. It just comes right out. Disconnect the DVD drive. Disconnect the speaker. Disconnect the SATA hard drive. Disconnect the trackpad. Just pops right up. There's a lever on the keyboard connection. Pull up on the lever and then pull out the keyboard. Disconnect the battery life indicator. Pull up on the unlocking mechanism and disconnect the LVDS cable. You can just pull it out after unlocking it. Be careful with this connection as it's very fragile and can be damaged easily. Remove the 7 T6 screws securing your logic board in place. You can review this segment to make it easier to track the screws. Push away any cables and pull up on the logic board. It still has 1 connection in the back, so pull it up gently. We'll be flipping it over. Once you flip it over, disconnect the DC in power board. This is the last connection. The logic board is now free. Keyboard removal. To get to the keyboard, we'll need to remove the DVD drive. Also, remove the 3 Phillips head screws securing the drive. Lift the drive at an angle and slide it out. Remove the mid wall. It's secured with 2 Phillips head screws, one on the top and one on the bottom. We'll need to remove the 2 Phillips head screws that are securing the power button. Once the two Phillips head screws have been removed, you can go ahead and pry out the power button. It's glued onto the case, but if you carefully pry it out, it should come out no problem. Once the power button is free, we can go ahead and start removing the layers. There are 3 layers covering the keyboard. The bottommost layer is the shadow layer, the next layer is the plastic light distribution layer, and the top black layer is the backlight. Be very gentle when removing these can rip really easily. Remove the 51 screws securing the keyboard. This is a difficult task, but those screws are magnetic. Once it's out, it'll look like this. Keyboard installation. After placing in the new keyboard, resecure it with 51 Phillips head screws. Use the guide pins on the keyboard to align the layers properly. They all have holes where the guide pins slide into. This step cannot be skipped and is very crucial. Once everything is aligned properly and tucked in, we can go ahead and reinstall the power button. Lay the power button into its socket. Make sure it's firmly in. Secure it with 2 Phillips head screws. The power button screws are short and very distinct. Reinstall the mid-wall. 1 Phillips head screw at the bottom and 1 Phillips head screw at the top. Reinstall the DVD drive. Slide it in at an angle and drop it into its socket. Secure it with the 3 Phillips head screws. 1 in the top left corner, 1 in the bottom left corner, and 1 in the back. Logic board installation. Connect the DC-in power board first. At an angle, insert the board and connections to the right first. Push away any of the cables and lay down the board. It's okay if some cables are trapped. We'll be pulling them out. Take out tweezers and push away any of the trapped cables. Go over all of them, make sure nothing is trapped. There's 10 connections. 9 connections if you exclude the battery. Install the 7 T6 logic board screws. They're relatively the same size, so any screw should fit into any hole. Connect the keyboard backlight first. Make sure that the lever is up. Push in the connection and lock the lever. Install the left fan. Since we left the screws in, this should be fairly easy. Put it into its socket and secure the 3 T6 screws. Connect the fan to the logic board. Make sure that that cable was not trapped when you put in the fan. Install the right fan. Again, make sure that the connection is out and is not trapped under the fan. Secure the 3 T6 screws. Reconnect the fan to the logic board. We can now connect the Wi-Fi cable. Connect the DVD drive. Clicks right in. Connect the speaker. It also clicks right in. Connect the SATA cable. Connect the trackpad. Make sure all these connections are firmly in. Connect the keyboard. Make sure that the lever is up when you insert the keyboard into the socket. Then push down on the lever to lock it in. Connect the battery life indicator. Connect the LVDS cable now. Make sure that the locking mechanism is up. Be careful, as this port is very fragile. Lock it in with the locking mechanism. Install the trackpad shield. Screwed in with 2 Phillips head screws. Battery installation. Reconnect the battery to the logic board. This might be a little difficult to do. You can peel back the battery connection cord from the battery about 2 inches to make this easier. Insert the battery into the socket after connecting it. Install the 3 tri-wing or pentalobe screws depending on your model. Install the rear panel. Install the 3 long Phillips head screws first. Now the 7 short Phillips head screws.